Well, yesterday I took a trip out to Southwick and visited the third graders at the Powder Mill School over there, and we talked for quite a while about all types of weather that we see here in Western Mass, their favorite types of weather, and we answered so many questions and I got to hear stories. So it was a really great time to speak to those third graders. So thank you guys at the Powder Mill School over there in Southwick for having me. Hopefully I'll be able to go back sometime in the future. One of the things that we like to talk about too is the fact that we get to enjoy all the seasons in Western Mass, which means we get to see all types of weather, from snow to thunderstorms to cold to hot. And we're actually approaching the summer season very soon. In fact, our first day of summer is on June 20th, so it's less than a month away. And Sunday is June 1st. And our average high temperature on June 1st is 76 degrees. By the end of the month, our average high jumps up to 84 degrees. Our average low jumps from 51 on June 1st to 59 by the end of the month. And we have had some pretty decent records in June. In fact, our record highest recorded temperature in June was 102 degrees setback way in 1952, 1964. We got to a record low of 32 degrees. Could you imagine having 32 degrees in June? And then we do pick up on average about 4 inches of rainfall. Now, June 1st also marks the beginning of meteorological summer, so we group June, July, and August into even 3-month increments to keep climate data over time. And over the course of the meteorological summer, our average high jumps from 76, then we peak out somewhere in middle July with an average high of about 85, and then we hang out in the lower to middle 80s heading through August before we start to see that slow decline heading into September meteorological fall. In fact, our average high temperature here in Western Mass hits 80 degrees on June 17th. So again, that's less than a month away before 80 degrees becomes the normal. Today, our average high temperature is 75, and we'll get close to that today. In fact, we'll probably be a little bit above 75 for a lot of us. We'll be in the middle and upper 70s today with a lot of clouds and some sun, maybe an isolated spot shower. This weekend is looking a little bit on the cooler side just because we're going to be dealing with some unsettled weather on Saturday. And then Sunday, we're going to be breezy as this system departs. So it's going to have almost like a cool fall-like feel on Sunday. Highs in the 60s, low humidity, and a bit of a breeze. And then as we head into next week, we're going to be seeing a warmer trend. In fact, we're going to be seeing lower to middle 80s by the middle of next week. The Climate Prediction Center's outlook for temperatures has most of the country, except for the middle of the country, actually having higher chances of trending above normal, and that does extend to here in New England. And in terms of the precipitation outlook, it looks like the Pacific Northwest have the highest chances of trending drier than normal. The Deep South have high chances of trending wetter than normal. And here in New England, there's a slight lean towards that wetter pattern, but overall we're pretty close to normal. So the chances are low that we'll be in that wetter pattern. So we'll call it close to normal for that time frame, which is, by the way, June 6th through the 12th, that time frame there I just showed. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up panning out. Looking at our satellite and radar right now, we have a lot of clouds, a little bit of some thin patchy fog in some areas, maybe even a little bit of some drizzle across some areas as well. It's mild and muggy. We're going to be tracking some sunshine and clouds today, a couple of isolated spot showers or downpours, very hit or miss in nature. The majority of the day today is not raining. Then as we head into tonight, more clouds build in. We're tracking wet weather, so that looks to get going sometime after midnight, and we'll see periods of heavy rainfall, especially heading closer to sunrise tomorrow morning. Maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder can't be ruled out. And then we'll be seeing periods of rain, especially for the first half of tomorrow. The second half of tomorrow is looking a little bit drier, maybe a couple of breaks of sun. And then Sunday right now is looking mostly cloudy, some breaks of sun, and a little bit breezy too. These numbers here are your wind gusts. So Sunday is looking like a little bit more of a breezy day. In terms of rainfall amounts, more recent model trends have actually had the heaviest of the rain setting up to our west, but we can't rule out still a good solid ½ inch to as much as an inch or an inch and a half. Then as we head into Monday, that starts our nicer weather pattern for next week. In fact, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, maybe a spot shower Monday, highs in the lower 70s, and then our temperatures are on the upward trend. In fact, we turn a little bit more humid heading towards the end of next week as rain chances look to return by perhaps around Friday.